Whether it's a nuclear bomb, a zombie outbreak, a deadly virus, environmental disaster, or our own carelessness, our favorite shows and movies about life after civilization give us a morbid look at what the world will look like after we've destroyed it. Many movies and shows paint a clear picture of how the world would deal with an apocalyptic event and its consequences. So in that context, I brought this video about the top 10 apocalyptic or post-apocalyptic TV shows of all time. But hey, it's just my viewpoint, so feel free to mention your favorite show in the comments. For now, let's get started. Number 10. The Strain. After a plane filled with dead people lands in New York, a mysterious viral outbreak begins, turning people into savage, vampiric creatures. And it's up to Dr. Ephraim Goodweather to find out what the hell's going on. So now we have our horror story, and it's a good one. Sure, it does lean into some classic vampire tropes, but it also plays around with others to create something that feels fresh and unique in television. Admittedly, the first few episodes are a bit on the slow side. They're not bad, they carry a fair bit of intrigue, but they feel a bit like a drag at times. But when you get past them and the plot truly gets going, it's an utterly compelling and quite entertaining vampire thriller. The Strain got 7.3 rating on IMDb and 79% score on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's available to stream on Disney Plus Hotstar. Number 9. Into the Badlands. Into the Badlands is a genre-bending martial arts series very loosely based on the classic Chinese tale Journey to the West. In a land controlled by feudal barons, Into the Badlands tells the story of a great warrior and a young boy who embark on a journey across a dangerous land to find enlightenment. Into the Badlands is set centuries from now, where the feudal society has emerged and the strongest and most brutal rose to wealth and power. This area came to be called the Badlands and is divided among 7 rival barons who control the resources necessary to daily life and enforce their rule with the aid of loyal armies known as Clippers. The series, which ran on AMC for 3 seasons, earned positive reviews for its genre-bending style. With 7.9 rating on IMDb and 84% Rotten Tomatoes score, Into the Badlands is available on Netflix. Number 8. Falling Skies. 6 months in from a devastating alien invasion, and humanity isn't doing so well. The characters of Falling Skies, a group of civilians and soldiers that make up the 2nd Massachusetts Militia Regiment, are trapped in downtown Boston. With 90% of the world's population eradicated and the world's power grids disabled, escaping the city is no mean feat. Falling Skies follows the survivors as they try to evade the mechanical drones and spider-like aliens that have taken over the planet, balancing their desperate need to survive with their desire to repel the alien invaders and reclaim their home. Directed by none other than Steven Spielberg, Falling Skies is a killer combination of science fiction and disaster with a full-blown alien invasion. The show got 7.1 rating on IMDb and 79% score on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's available on HBO Max, Apple TV Plus, and other platforms based on the location. Number 7. The Last Ship. We all know zombies aren't the only thing that can cause an apocalypse. The enemy in The Last Ship is actually a global pandemic that strikes while the crew of the USS Nathan James was isolated on a mission in the Arctic. When they return to civilization, they find the world in ruins after the virus wiped out 80% of the human population. The only hope for a cure rests with 2 civilian virologists aboard the ship and the ship's own captain, Tom Chandler. This series manages to mix the existential crises that come with the breakdown of human society with the jump scares of an apocalyptic thriller, making it an excellent choice for your next binge. The Last Ship is an action drama television series loosely based on the 1988 novel of the same name by William Brinkley. With a 7.4 rating on IMDb and 83% score on Rotten Tomatoes, The Last Ship is available to watch on Prime Video. Number 6. The Rain. In this Danish series, a virus distributed via raindrops has wiped out almost all of Scandinavia. Siblings who survived in a bunker search for any signs of life, and while doing so, encounter other young survivors. Interestingly, they discover that even with a little sign of life, many of the same challenges and emotional experiences they would have endured in a pre-apocalyptic world still exist in this disastrous situation. The series follows people fleeing from a virus in Denmark only to discover one of their own. Rasmus can actually host and control the spread. This leads to his sister, Simone, trying to decide whether she should stay by his side as he's changing mentally. The Rain got 6.3 rating on IMDb and 82% score on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's available to stream on Netflix. Number 5. The 100. If you're more of a sci-fi person, we strongly suggest you to check out The 100 for all of the post-apocalyptic needs. The 100 is a post-apocalyptic sci-fi dystopian drama television series developed by Jason Rothenberg and is loosely based on the book series of the same name by Cass Morgan. Set 97 years after a nuclear apocalypse, the only human survivors live on an orbiting space station called the Ark. When overpopulation becomes a problem, however, 100 juvenile delinquents are jettisoned from the ship and sent to a radioactive Earth to test whether the atmosphere is habitable. Those teens soon find that they aren't the only human survivors after all, and they'll have to fight for survival in a strange new world. The 100 got 7.6 rating on IMDb and 93% score on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's available to watch on Netflix. Number 4. The Last Man on Earth. Occasionally, in the middle of all the death and decay, the post-apocalyptic genre throws up a little ray of sunshine. The Last Man on Earth is the rarest of things, an end-of-the-world comedy. By the year 2020, a deadly virus has seemingly eradicated the population of North America, with the exception of one man, Phil Miller. Phil sets out on a fruitless quest to connect with other survivors, only to return home to find somebody waiting for him. The Last Man on Earth is pretty remarkable in its ability to portray the end of the world with its tongue planted firmly in its cheek. If you'd like a break from the doom and gloom, but you don't want to give up on the genre just yet, The Last Man is an awesome show to check out. With a 7.3 rating on IMDb and 85% score on Rotten Tomatoes, The Last Man on Earth is available to stream on Hulu and Disney Plus Hotstar based on the country. Number 3. The Walking Dead. Obviously, we have to include the most popular post-apocalyptic show for the past decade. The Walking Dead follows Rick Grimes after he wakes up from a coma to find the hospital abandoned and zombies, aka walkers, roaming the earth. Rick sets off to find his missing wife and son and to establish a safe place for them and other survivors to settle and withstand the bloodthirsty walkers and bloodthirsty humans that now threaten everyone's lives. 6 years on, and The Walking Dead is still going strong, with more plot twists, heartbreaks, and gruesome endings than you can shake in a chain-covered baseball bat at. If you're gonna watch any of the post-apocalyptic TV shows in this list, The Walking Dead is the place to start. The show got 8.1 rating on IMDb and 80% score on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's available to watch on Netflix. Number 2. 12 Monkeys. Loosely adapted from the 1995 film of same name starring Brad Pitt, this sci-fi mystery drama focuses on the concept of time travel. The army of the 12 Monkeys is working to end the world with a deadly virus that, if it isn't stopped, will kill 7 billion people in 2017 and continue to mutate until it wipes out the entire human race. Two individuals, James Cole and Dr. Cassandra Cassie Rayleigh, must join forces to travel back and forth through time from 2043 to 2015 to try to stop the 12 Monkeys before the virus is released. In the series, 12 Monkeys is a vast secret organization which is responsible for the Plague, a time-traveling team who oppose the army of the 12 Monkeys and their mysterious leader, the Witness, engage in a war to control the fate of the timeline. With 7.7 rating on IMDb and 88% score on Rotten Tomatoes, 12 Monkeys is available to stream on Hulu and Prime Video based on the location. Number 1. Battlestar Galactica. An oldie but a goodie, this military sci-fi series that aired back in the early 2000s was a reimagining of the 1978 series of the same name. Science fiction and the end of the world are familiar bedfellows, and Battlestar Galactica is a perfect example of why they work so well. the TV series fits into the rest of the Battlestar Galactica franchise. In the distant future, in a distant solar system, civilization is spread across a group of 12 planets. In a twist straight from the Terminator series, humanity finds itself in conflict with a cybernetic race of its own creation, culminating in an attack that eradicates almost all of the human race. A small band of survivors, on board the only surviving Battlestar, are tasked with finding a fabled refuge from the distant past, a place called Earth. The show got 8.7 rating on IMDb and 95% score on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's available on Prime Video and other platforms based on the country. Hope you liked the video. If you think any of the show is missing, please mention them in the comments. Until then, I'll see you all